All right, guys, I'm Mike Quist, and this is how you remodel. Guys, one of the problems that you run into with old millwork is how to refinish it. I didn't want to throw these old doors away, so I went ahead and I stripped them, I sanded them, and now I'm priming them to hide any and all imperfections. The primer that I'm using is absolutely secret sauce. I'm taking these old 40-year-old doors and I'm completely repainting them to look crisp and classy for this condo project. This is the primer right here. It's from Sherwin-Williams. It's called High Build Primer. I love this stuff. It can be tinted, but I'm just doing white because I'm eventually gonna spray these old doors white so that it really pops with this beach house condo. I'm gonna apply it using a very easy to use sprayer. You can get this at any hardware store. It's a little Graco Magnum X5, and I'm using a small trim tip. I believe it's a 211 tip, a beautiful orifice size to let the perfect amount of paint through. And this primer is sandable very quickly. That means you can apply it very thick. It will tighten up. You could sand it and the imperfections disappear. You'll thank me later. If you're trying to restore old trim, molding, millwork, stair treads, anything like that, you're gonna want a high build impregnating primer, and this is the one. I'm not getting paid to say this, but the high build primer from Sherwin-Williams is absolute magic. I love this stuff. All right, guys, pro tip here. I like to lay my doors down flat when I'm doing a really thick coat on my primer. That way nothing has the risk of running vertically and creating drip marks. So lay everything flat. Also, another pro tip, apply masking tape on top of your sawhorses that you're laying it flat on, because right here through these slats, it's gonna spray through and it's gonna get that sawhorse damp with paint. And I finished the other side of this door and I don't wanna create marks or any imperfections on the other side of the door because I'm setting it in wet paint. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Prime these doors like a pro. This is a door that I just primed yesterday, and I went through and I just sanded with 220. I resanded some of the corners a little bit. I resanded some of the details. When you first strip and sand a door, you're gonna have a little bit of imperfections. That's okay. Apply your first coat of primer and then come back with 220 grit and sand this thing. And man, it's smooth as glass. I just love the feel that this primer immediately gives you. And the second coat goes on beautifully. I mean, our first coat, it looks really, really good, but you sand to do a second coat and then apply your top coat of paint. Goodness gracious, that's gonna last a long time. And it's gonna really fill in any of the grain or the old scratch marks or anything in this door. It's got a really high build. So, you know, that's what it looks like after a second coat. It looks really nice. It's filled in some of the imperfections that was on these slats and things like that. So I'm ready to paint these white. I'm doing a complete remodel on this condo. It's getting the vinyl plank flooring. I actually really like that vinyl plank flooring. Anybody use that yet? I did a faux tree branch right here. I removed a wall. It's got something leaning up there, but I removed this wall and I did a little cap, a wall cap that I'm going to be doing a top coat on to match the Koa wood cabinets. And then I'll show you up here. I did the vinyl plank flooring, and man, I really like how this stuff has come out. I did a nice little transition there, and I'm getting ready to paint these baseboards, and that just looks really nice. It's got the wood ceiling, really cool view from up in this kid's loft. There's two twin beds that go up here that look down. So guys, if you want to see my video on how to install vinyl plank flooring, have you tried it yet? This stuff is amazing. It's extremely waterproof, and I think it'll be great for a vacation rental because it's easy to clean. It doesn't show scratches and wear, and you gotta see this view. Look at the view from this condo. Not a bad work environment right here. That's the Pacific Ocean right there. And it's just a beautiful panoramic view here. That high build primer is amazing, and it's making my job look very good. Instead of going out and buying a bunch of new doors, which are hard to source here on this island anyways, I'm able to refinish the old ones, and I redid the trim the same way. You know, this trim was beat up and stuff, and we painted that. I actually retextured all the walls. They had a real heavy skip trowel on them, and so we retextured those, painted those, and it's starting to come together. I'm going to do that vinyl plank floor in this hole downstairs. So if you want a tutorial on that, let me know, and I'll give it to you. All right, guys, I'm Mike Quist, and this is how you remodel.